Well, that's where the paper hit the mic.
Sorry, just getting some last-minute notes down on my next player. Should we get started?
Why not? At this point, who knows? Hello, everybody, and welcome to 2M Football.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Matt. And you're doing so much better with the microphone, Mike. Our audio levels are nearly the same now.
All right. I've been working on that.
That's not good. Just ignore that.
Almost maxed it out. All right. So what are we doing today, Matt?
I was staring at the restart required in the corner of my computer thinking, uh-oh, we got to do this quick.
Damn you, auto updates.
Whose crappy computer is
All
this?
right, how long do we have?
We got time.
Okay.
So in our next segment of comeback players, we're working on our comeback tight end players, which is probably one of the harder ones to figure out. Because it all depends on how they want to use each particular tight end. Even some, with the big names like Greg Olsen, if he's used in a game where he blocks more than he catches, all of a sudden that affects his stats. Mm-hmm. But overall, we're just assessing to see who we think as a tight end is going to have a better year than they had previously. So same rules, just different position.
You want to kick it off, or you want me to?
Sure, I can start off this
cool.
one. So my pick for tight end, by my intriguing notes that I have here,
Ooh, intriguing.
Very good, thank you, is Jack Doyle, who I talked about a lot in the our Colts video.
He was your free agency pick, right?
Correct.
And how did that turn out?
I may be 1 for 1, I think.
Very nice.
They did keep them, and as you pointed out earlier when we were just, chit-chatting between stuff, that with the release of Dwayne Allen, Jack Doyle's the star now in tight end position. With that being said, I think
what about Super Nah? Or is he on a different team? All right, go on. I just want to say Super Nah.
I know you did.
Super Nah. Okay.
That's why I stopped, stared at you, gave you your moment, and then
Thank
proceeded.
you. It's out of my system now.
He's on the Titans.
Damn.
You were close. But with Dwayne Allen gone, that was their big receiving tight end, and Doyle sort of played a rotational role with him. But now with Allen gone, that leaves Jack Doyle to step up. So just through natural progression, I think he's going to see a bigger year. But I think it's kind of hard to gauge of how he's going to use because it all depends on how this offensive line comes together. If it's repaired and it stays repaired and stays healthy, then Doyle will have more receiving yards than he had last year because he'll be able to get out in the open and catch and run. Versus if that offensive line continues to falter, he's going to have no choice but to defaultly stay back and protect his quarterback. So I'm going to gamble and say that they will get this line fixed because if they don't, they will not have a franchise quarterback much longer. Mm-hmm. And we should see, but even if the line falls apart, he's going to be given the dump passes, the quick passes out to the flat. And overall, I think we should see Jack Doyle's performance go up, even if it's just a little bit. But I think a lot of his performance is going to ride on that offensive line. Because if the line holds, that means he's going to be a big receiving star versus a blocking star. If that line falters, unfortunately, he's going to be in the backfield there trying to save Andrew Luck's life. Questions, comments, concerns, Michael?
I like it. I'm a little concerned that you call me Michael because you never call me that.
Only usually if I'm really upset with you.
A little weirded out now.
It's weird to hear other people call you Michael because Jackie calls you.
She's the only one who calls me Michael. Okay, but anyway, I like the pick. I agree with everything you said, actually, which I think is a little rare.
Usually there's 1 or 2 things you're like, well, I mean, they may not be major adjustments, but...
Yeah, not this time, though. Good work.
Yes.
And with no notes, even. Well, you have notes, but I can't tell what those are.
Those are...
Fire Starbucks.
That's
okay.
Starbucks.
Anyway.
You want to talk about my handwriting?
All right, let's not get into that. That's a debate I won't win. Okay, so my comeback tight end, I feel a little bit risky about picking him, and it's Ladarius Green of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yar.
And he was the Steelers' big offseason acquisition a year ago. They signed him to I think it was a 3 or 4 year deal. And then he came out and only played 6 games all season due to concussions, which have been an issue for him throughout his career. He ended up receiving, I didn't write down how many receptions, but he had 300 yards and just 1 touchdown. And the yards, he was 35th among tight ends. So for him, a comeback would count as getting into the top 25 or 20, I'd say. And I think he can do it. The key is going to be his health, though. He's only 26 years old, and he's already suffered multiple concussions.
Yeah, these younger players, these concussions are getting more and more troublesome.
Mm-hmm.
I also think he's got a little bit of competition. Forgive me, it's my turn to pull apart your player.
Just let me have this one. Okay, go ahead.
Xavier Grimble.
No. Okay, go ahead. Why?
Think about it. If he's going to be in a with the amount of concussions he's had, he's going to be in more of a rotational role to ensure that he's not subjected to all the hits that you would normally take, because you want your players to stay in the field, especially if you've paid them that kind of money. The last thing you want to do is paying him for riding the bench.
Well, if he's riding the bench because of concussion or because you benched him, what's the difference?
Well, look at the whole situation with Sam Shields in Green Bay. His concussions forced him to be released. And who knows who's going to pick him up. He's a young guy, but the concussive history makes it a huge liability. If you put him in a more rotational role with, say, somebody else who is young and still has to prove himself, and that would be Xavier Grimble. That was the only name, and I like that name.
Well, okay. Even if you're right, the guy's Jesse James, not Grimble.
No, he's an outlaw and he's dead.
The Steelers have a tight end named Jesse James who actually had more catches than Green last year.
Well, he's going to be their number one star. But if they run a 2 tight end set, it's going to be a mixture of Latavius Green and Xavier Grimble.
You mean Jesse James and Grimble?
Well, no. Rotational role.
This is getting way off track. Okay, I agree with the point you're trying to make, though.
That's Mike's nice way of saying shut the hell up.
Well, I just feel like they signed him to a deal. They want him to play.
They also want to keep him healthy.
If he's healthy, he's going to play. He's 6'6", 200 and change. So but he's fast for a tight end that size, so he can be a playmaker, and he showed some of that in his San Diego Chargers days. And let's see what else I have here. Just that the Steelers do always rely on tight ends. Remember Heath Miller for the longest time?
Big name, the one guy that they still technically haven't replaced.
Yeah. So, okay, well, I'll give you that. They're going to be careful with him, and rightfully so. But if he can stay healthy, even playing in a rotational role, he's going to have more than 300 yards and 1 touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think he should be able to get into the top 25.
301 yards and 1.5 touchdowns.
1.5. He and Jesse James will catch it together and run into the end zone. Yeah.
Oh, so cute.
Have a touchdown. That's how you do it. Okay, that's it. that's all I got. Thank you for destroying my argument.
You're welcome. See, that's what it feels like to be me.
I don't like it.
Yeah, it sucks, doesn't it?
I stand by it, though.
That's my too. See, there you go. You've learned well, young one. In face of adversity, stand tall. Like Blake Bortles. Don't you give me that smug laugh. And with that, before we kill each other on air, thank you guys all for listening yet again. I'm not sure what position we'll do next, but we could either do the defense as a whole or break down each defensive segment, but we'll figure it out. We still have offensive lines we could do too, so there's still positions we could cover. Mm-hmm. And with that, stay tuned for more fun stuff as we continue to try to fill the void of the off season now that it's really begun, and OTAs will be starting at some point. Pre-workout regimens, I think, for most teams have started by this point, so now it's just a matter of everyone getting ready for another year of football, if you can believe it or not.
Getting closer every day.
So thank you all. Make sure to follow us on Twitter
at 2M_football.
And we will see you here next time.
See you guys.